we were going to have something better than coffee today. Maybe not better. I don't know if anything's better than coffee. But I was going to open vodka, but I can't open it. It's right out of the freezer. I don't know how to open it. Jim, you would know. Why don't you send me a message? And then I've got this one. We could really get drunk with all this. This is, I love this. It's from Greg Davis. And he said, my friends, I've crafted this sunshine in a bottle with organic Mayer lemons from my garden. Best enjoyed straight out of the freezer with people you love. That's what I was going to try to do today with y'all. But I can't open either bottle. Shows what kind of drinker I am. You know, maybe I should just take it and hit the top against something like they do in the films. But then I get glass in my mouth. You know what I did today? Other than trying to open these bottles. I went downtown. I got my hair done. You like it? And I had my makeup done. And you know, there's so many things that we can take advantage of that I just forget about. And I've been buying my cosmetics at Walgreens. I think they're weeping at Walgreens today because I bought a lot of stuff at Neiman Marcus. Yes, I did. I found this lovely makeup artist there. You know, they don't charge for that. They hope you'll buy something, but they don't charge. And I think that we should take advantage of those things. And so I did today. You like my makeup? Do you think it's too much? Do you ever go to the mirror and go like this? Oh, well, I could do that. Or I could walk around holding my face up with my hands. I'm not going to do any of that. I don't care. Anyway, I really started out with a point in mind, and that was the quiz where I had you guess who the gentleman with me is, a famous writer, and many of you guessed correctly. That was Alex Haley. Alex was such a love. I was in love with Alex, only I didn't know it. I think he was in love with me, but he didn't know how to handle it either because he was African American and I'm Caucasian. And at that time, it was unheard of to have a black man and a white woman together. People did that, but it didn't occur to me. It didn't even occur to me to do that. And now I look back at those times with Alex. What a soul person he was. I went to Rome, New York, where he was living. He invited me there along with, and his assistant, George Sims, was there. And they had this wonderful little house in Rome. And he showed me the files for his book. And the title, Before Roots, was going to be Before This Anger. And fortunately, it was changed to Roots. But he showed me this file. It was like a business file. Of course, writing a book is a business, although we don't think of it that way usually, and should. And it was like a library file, actually, with these white cards, and all of them were alphabetized with some little thing he wanted to remember to write in Roots. And it was like an astonishing work of research. And of course, he couldn't go on the internet then to find out anything. So of course he went to Africa and he found his ancestors there. It's just a huge story, and as you know, so impactful, not only for African Americans, but for all of us. But when I went to Rome, he put me up in a motel in Rome, and we had our picture taken together for the newspaper. It was just charming and sweet. And one day we went for a ride in his car, went out into the countryside. And we had deep, heartfelt talks with each other. And he said, Patsy, you know, I hadn't written anything then. And his book wasn't out yet. He had written the biography of Malcolm X, and it was successful, but not like Roots, which was just like phenomenal. He said, Patsy, when you become famous or well known, and there was no doubt in his mind, you know, all these things would happen. I didn't know. He said, and when I do, we're all like little blades of grass under the crust of the earth. And we try to push up. We're all trying to push up to blossom. And when you do, you get through the crust and you've worked so hard to get up there and you start to bloom. And the people below, the blades of grass, try to pull you down. They try to pull you down by your roots. Before Roots, the name of his book, he said, you have to make your roots strong and believe in what you're doing. So they can't pull you down and destroy you. And I thought of that many times in my life. At one time when I was really being bombarded by the media, it was so hard, it was so incredibly difficult. But I stayed strong for the most part. But it isn't easy. And Amy Ferris talks about this so often, about we're all so important. We all are indeed like blades of grass. And we need to give a push to those who are going up, and they'll give us a hand and pull us up too. And I think that we often forget that, and jealousy comes to play, or who knows what those things are, but it's ugly. It can be very ugly, but it can also be beautiful. Just beautiful. The things that people do to help each other, it's just marvelous. Alex helped me so much. And I've got dialogue that I recorded when he came to a round table after Roots was published. And he brought all of his books in all the different languages and put them on the dining table with my guests. And I'm going like, oh, Alex, I'm so happy, you know. And I gave him a kiss, and it was just beautiful. And he had a melodic way of speaking, just so gentle and so wise. And at that luncheon, he talked about signing books, Roots, and how people were lined up around the block for like many blocks, for hours waiting to come in to buy his book and have him sign it. And he said it was so overwhelming in many ways. Gratifying too. He didn't even have time to look up at the people coming in because he just had to sign and sign. But he noticed the hands. And there was this one woman who was buying like 5 books. And he looked at her hands. And he knew she couldn't afford it. He knew it. And he looked up at her. And she was a black woman, and she had a very worn face. And her hands were so worn. And he said, honey, you can't afford all these books. She said, Mr. Haley, this is my history. This is my family. I can't afford not to buy these books. And he said he realized then that the book he had written was not just a book he had written, and not just his history, and he knew this, but it was so evident with this woman. It was a history of Black people, his ancestors, her ancestors, all those people standing in line to read about what it was like being brought over as a slave, what it was like in that place in Africa where they came from. We need to remember that, I think, when we're writing. I know when I write, and I'm writing, as you know, Peeing on Hot Coals, I've written it, and it's childhood memoir of growing up in the Dust Bowl, in the depths of the Depression. And I was talking to someone about that today, a woman I met, and she said, that's my history too. I'm from Texas. I know what that's like. I know what it's like to be hungry. I know what it's like to have the cattle die from ingesting so much dust. I know what it's like to have my sister die from dust pneumonia. She didn't, however, know what it was like to pee on hot coals. Now, for years I laughed about that because I didn't allow myself. There was something that had shut off in my brain regarding the violence of that, the violence to my young body. To pee on ashes because I was afraid to go to the outhouse and it was dark, and have them explode like a volcano. I was very injured. But there's someone somewhere who will read that story and identify not with the actual event, but with something in their lives that's the equivalent. The pain, the suffering, the embarrassment. So to all my writer friends, I love you. And it's to you that I owe a big debt of gratitude. And if I could get these bottles open, I would be drinking vodka right now. But you know I want to. I love you, darling. Keep writing, keep reading. Bye.